Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
For what is a bed and breakfast in Athens. Good evening, I'm Kelsey Steele. Thanks for joining us. While many property owners in Athens rent their homes, Athens City Council is rejecting a business plan by one resident who's trying to break into the rental business. WB reporter David Michael has more on how this rental business differs from others.
Abe Alisov was renting a room out of his Athens home until he received a cease and desist letter from Athens City Council in November. He's been arguing the ordinance ever since.
It's about being able to have economic equal opportunity under the law. I mean, as long as I'm not harming my neighbor's property or their happiness or causing a nuisance, why should the city care?
Alisov rented the room through a site known as Airbnb. The Airbnb is a very simple system run completely online. Homeowners can register their rooms online, creating profiles with prices and available accommodations. From their computer, guests just search the area for an available space, find a room that seems appealing via the public profile and previous reviews, and then they send the renter a request. There are over 50 rooms available in Athens. Councilwoman Jennifer Cochran says the reason for the action against Alisov was a violation of code that allows hotel or motel services only in certain areas of the city. She says safety issues arise because Airbnb rentals aren't inspected. Alisov is trying to get City Council to allow his service. Brandon Kerr, who spoke on Alisov's behalf Monday, says he plans to continue the effort.
We'll do as we've done. We'll get up. Each of us will give our piece, try and make a civil argument against it, and try our best to change a few minds on council.
Alisov says Airbnb helps those who may not be able to afford or find other accommodations.
I have one lady who I canceled on, and I don't know what she's going to do. Now, she booked with me. She was my first booking back in the summer, and she was booking for Mother's Weekend, which is just coming up. And I just told her right around the time I got the letter, I'm sorry. And she broke down crying on the phone with me. She's like, I can't get a place.
The issue is expected to come up again in the next council meeting.
Cochran says the planning committee is recommending the city make this kind of service possible in the future. It was standing room only last night at the Athens County Public Library as residents listened to plans between two Democratic State House hopefuls. Ohio University graduate student Eddie Smith and local businesswoman Sarah Grace are running to replace Debbie Phillips as the representative for Ohio's 94th District. Funding priorities, poverty, Planned Parenthood, and minimum wage were among the topics in Tuesday's forum. Children can express their religious viewpoints in a public school environment. A House committee is set to vote on an Ohio bill today. The bill would allow public school students to express their religious views to get the same access to school facilities as secular student groups. The bill would remove a provision that allows school districts to limit expression. The bill would also prohibit schools from not allowing religious expression in class assignments. Prayer, religious gatherings, and distribution of literature are considered religious expression by law. Early voting kicked off in Ohio today as registered voters went to the Athens Board of Elections to cast their ballots. Officials say that presidential elections always bring out more voters. Even though voters get to make their choices for presidential nominees weeks before the primary date, the candidates won't know the results until primary night on March 15th. Ohio University students who are registered to vote in Ohio can also cast early ballots at the Board of Education's office.
Shaw. 35 degrees right now in Athens and overcast. You may have seen a few light snow showers earlier this afternoon. Temperatures across the region are in the 30s as well. Not too cold out there yet. 35 Columbus, 37 in Cambridge, and 35 Jackson. And we are going to cool down a bit as the night goes on. Temperatures getting into the teens. And lows 19 Columbus, 11 in Cambridge, and 10 in New Lexington, 21 Ripley. Clouds are going to decrease as the night goes on. High pressure is on its way in. And if you're not liking these cool temperatures, make sure you stay tuned to my extended forecast.
All right, Kaylee, thanks a lot. We have an update on the Zika virus here in Ohio. Ohio had its first confirmed case of the virus back on February 9th when a woman traveling back from Haiti contracted the virus. Officials with the Columbus Department of Public Health have confirmed that 7 returning travelers have been tested for the Zika virus. According to the CPH board, 4 of those potential cases are in Columbus. We'll start with introduction. The 7 individuals had returned to the United States with symptoms related to several different illnesses, including the Zika virus. The tests were sent to the Center for Disease Control. Results are not expected to be returned for a couple of weeks. The Ohio Department of Education may have to open its own books later this year. Elected State Board of Education member A.J. Wagner is calling for an independent audit of the ODE. He says he wants to look into the department's charter school sponsor evaluation and rating system. This comes after an employee of the Ohio Department of Education was falsely reporting charter school data. In Kentucky, the total number of post-secondary education degrees and credentials awarded rose by 59% over a 10-year period. The report released Tuesday shows the number rose from 39,000 in 2003 to 62,000 in 2012. The Council on Post-Secondary Education says the growth is ranked 8th nationally. The largest growth was in undergrad workforce certificates. Associate's degrees grew 52% and bachelor's degrees grew 24%. Back in Ohio, we have an update in Sebring. The Ohio Environmental Protection Agency says all the most recent water samples are below the federal standard for lead. 15 new samples tested below the threshold, and nearly 900 samples have been submitted over the past 3 weeks, according to the EPA. A total of 55 homes have shown lead levels above the federal standard since mid-January. Flint residents met with the Surgeon General earlier today to discuss the high levels of lead in water have not only affected them, but also their families. Kim Hutcherson has more.
Flint residents line up to tell the U.S. Surgeon General how the city's poisoned water has affected them.
I've lost 2 unborn babies. I was pregnant with twins, and I lost them back in July of 2015 due to the lead.
Dr. Vivek Murthy has been investigating lead contamination in Flint's water supply.
We got to do a lot more to get Flint back to a place where the water is safe for everyone to drink from the faucets.
Hundreds of people showed up for a separate meeting about class action lawsuits, so many that some were turned away. More horror stories were recounted there.
I'm looking for them to help me because I done broke out. All of my chest swole up, I can't breathe.
Governor Rick Snyder admitted Michigan's health department is under review for failing to alert the public about a Legionnaire's outbreak. But Snyder blamed at least part of the problem on the federal government.
They failed to do a lot of things in this process, and I'm not going to spend time on their issue. I think that'll come out as time passes. They still haven't fully acknowledged all their issues.
Meanwhile, a national study released Tuesday found that even though Flint residents were being poisoned by their own water, they still paid some of the highest water rates in the nation. I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Pope is traveling all throughout Mexico. We'll have all the details on his trip. Plus, Apple is fighting the FBI because of the San Bernardino shooting. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
What's happening, TVC basketball fans? My name is Sean Neidig, the host of Hardwood Heroes. Hardwood Heroes is a weekly half-hour show that airs on WOUB at 11 Sunday night and again at 6 on Monday. We provide you with the best Southeastern Ohio high school basketball coverage in the area, both on our show and on the web. Our reporters are at over 20 games every week to recap, so there is no way you can miss us. So tune in to Hardwood Heroes on Sunday night. And until then, I'm your host, Sean Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Pope Francis is visiting Ciudad Juarez today. The city right on the U.S. border has been the scene of violent battles between the country's drug cartels. The pontiff is now on the 5th and final day of his trip to Mexico. He's been encouraging Mexicans to not give in to a sense of hopelessness over gangs and drugs. Polo Sandoval has the details from Juarez.
Reminders of a violent past still linger in the faces of Juarez, Mexico. From the missing posters on street corners to the city's central square. City officials say in 2010, at least 3,000 people were killed during the height of a turf war between the Juarez and Sinaloa drug cartels over control of lucrative smuggling routes. Even Juarez's new mayor will tell you it wasn't just cartel members among the dead.
The violence touched the very heart of Juarez. We lost friends, family, and innocent people in the streets. The level of crime was inhumane.
Javier Gonzalez Moquen tells me a place once dubbed the most dangerous city in the world seems to be on a slow but steady path to peace. But the mayor says there is still work to be done here. He hopes Pope Francis will help this border town fully heal from its troubled past.
This visit means hope and joy. For the people of Juarez, it will recognize their efforts to reestablish peace and tranquility.
It's expected that during the Mass, the Holy Father will address a primary concern of his. Pope Francis will walk down this path right next to the border, according to church officials. They tell me that the pontiff will end at the very end here, right on the border, where a makeshift memorial to migrants will be set up. He'll pray for those who made it across the border and those who did not. That single symbolic moment expected to highlight an issue very important to this pontiff, immigration.
Most of us were once foreigners.
He defined himself as a migrant as he addressed Congress last fall, urging lawmakers and the president to be more compassionate towards migrants and refugees. Father Javier Calvillo says some of those who wait at this Catholic shelter before trying to cross into the U.S. will be in the crowd as the pontiff holds his Juarez Mass.
Migrants feel the support, the protection, the joy of Pope Francis.
Those migrants will be within eyesight of the fence many of them hope to get past. Polo Sandoval, CNN, Juarez, Mexico.
Thanks, Polo. The UN aid convoys are being sent from Damascus to several Syrian territories. One of the convoys is just arrived in the outskirts of the capital, an area that hasn't received aid for the past 2 years. Although they are currently on the road, they still face security checkpoints as they head through combat zones. Apple says it will not help investigators break into the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino killers. A judge in California has ordered the company to help the FBI get into Saeed's Farouk's phone. However, a letter signed by Apple's CEO Tim Cook warns that complying with the order would entail building a backdoor to the iPhone, creating something we consider too dangerous to create. Investigators have Farouk's phone, but it's locked with a passcode they cannot penetrate. The government said it owes it to the victims' families to investigate every aspect of the attack. On Wall Street today, U.S. stocks finished higher for the third session in a row. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
You'll need your hats and gloves tonight, but you might be able to keep them home this weekend. Find out more in my extended forecast when Newswatch returns.
Nestled in the heart of the Hocking Valley sits a town with a story. A story carved from mountains of coal, mixed with a little clay and sprinkled with a dash of culture. It's a story of national significance and local pride. A story rooted in the past that's still being written today. Join WOUB on March 19th at Nelsonville York High School for the premiere of Our Town, Nelsonville.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Kaylee Shaw. Today in Athens, 36 for our high and 30 for our low. We didn't vary too much in temperature for today. And right now, overcast skies and 35, so it's not too cool out there yet, but we are going to cool down as the night goes on. Temps across the region also in the mid to upper 30s, 35 Columbus, 35 Ironton and Ripley, and cloud cover is going to decrease as the night goes on. Temperature is also going to cool down into the teens, 23 in Ironton, a bit cooler in our northeast, 11 in Cambridge and 10 New Lexington. High pressure is on its way into the region, going to keep partly cloudy skies into tomorrow. Here's a look at your high temperatures across the region tomorrow. Another nice day, not too cool for our highs. 42 Ironton, 35 in Newark, and 39 here in Athens with partly cloudy skies throughout the day expected. Here's a look at your bus stop. Though it will be a bit warm tomorrow, 39 again for your high. Still going to be a bit cool for the kids at the bus stop in the morning, 17 degrees. So you will want to bundle up the kids for the morning. Here's a look at your PRECIPCAST. You'll see a cold front has moved on by, and you may have seen a few light snow showers early today due to that. Very briefly, and here's a high pressure moving into the region for tomorrow. That's going to create some nice partly cloudy skies for us. And here's a look at Friday. We're going to have some nice southwesterly winds coming up from the Gulf, bringing us some pretty warm temperatures for your weekend. Just a slight chance of rain Friday evening, and for the most part, nice weekend ahead of us. Here's a recap for tonight. 15 for your low. Going to want to bundle up tonight. Not warm temperatures yet like this weekend coming up. And here's a look at tomorrow. 39 for your high. Mostly sunny skies as the high pressure is moving its way in. Here's a look at your 7-day. I think I like what you see. 58 for Friday, 60 on Saturday and 53 on Sunday. Again, nice warm temperatures from those southwesterly winds coming in for your weekend. Just a brief chance for some rain on Friday and Sunday morning into the evening, and some nice average temperatures for next week, but again, this weekend, above average. I'll take it back to you, Kelsey.
Cancer not only takes a toll on someone's body internally, but also externally. But sometimes it just takes one person to do a special thing that makes everyone in need to feel better. Holly Furfer explains in today's Health Minute.
Janice Weaver is getting her hair styled, but a few years ago, this wasn't even possible.
It started coming out in clumps. It's a terrifying experience. It's terrible.
She was losing her hair from multiple chemotherapy treatments for stage 2 breast cancer. And at 22, it was difficult to deal with. That's where Rebecca Walden came in. She specializes in creating wigs for people with medical issues that cause hair to become extremely thin or to fall out, like alopecia, hormonal changes, and cancer.
It's so powerful. And I think that people think, well, it's just hair. Why should I care about hair? And people are like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just your hair. It's just your hair. Well, don't worry about it. It's just your eyes. It's just your fingers. It's just your feet. It's a body part. And when you lose a body part, it is traumatic.
But Rebecca becomes more than just a stylist. She becomes a friend.
She's absolutely a therapist. She and I have been friends now for almost 8 years, and she has seen me through chemo and all of that stuff and everything beyond.
I go home and I know that the people that I saw that day are in their house or out to dinner with their husband or whatever, and they feel like themselves. It is, like I said, I just feel so incredibly blessed.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer.
Thanks, Holly. I'm Matt Cuddy here for sports. The MAC release.
What's happening, TVC basketball fans? My name is Sean Neidig, the host of Hardwood Heroes. Hardwood Heroes is a weekly half-hour show that airs on WOUB at 11 Sunday night and again at 6 on Monday. We provide you with the best Southeastern Ohio high school basketball coverage in the area, both on our show and on the web. Our reporters are at over 20 games every week to recap, so there is no way you can miss us. So tune in to Hardwood Heroes on Sunday night. And until then, I'm your host, Sean Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back. I'm Matt Cuddy. We had a triple overtime thriller out in Gloucester last night as Justice Jenkins and the Tomcats outlasted Belpre 87-83. The senior night game was neck and neck for all 4 quarters, and with only a couple seconds left in regulation, Jenkins hit a game-tying layup to send the game to extra time. Jenkins continued his success in the overtime periods, taking over the game as he finished with 22 points. With the win, Trimble guarantees at least a share of the TVC Hawking title. If Waterford loses to Wahama, Trimble will win the title outright. The Tomcats received a bye with the #1 seed and will face St. Joe's in the second round of the tournament. Athens has battled injuries and illnesses all season long, and in their biggest game of the year, the Bulldogs were without Logan Maxfield, Zakiah Saltzman, and Griffin Lutz. The Warren Warriors took advantage and blew out the Bulldogs 66-33. Warren's Luke Dreyer led all scorers with 17 points. Now, staying inside Logan's gym last night, the Vinton County Vikings, in a game played right after, took down the Sheridan Generals 61-52. Jordan Albright was downright dominant as he poured in 26 points and grabbed 10 rebounds. The Vikings will battle against Warren in the sectional final game on Friday at Logan. The Federal Hawking Lancers were in good shape last night as they had a 13-point lead over the St. Joe's Flyers early in the second half. However, the Flyers did not lay down and stormed back in the fourth quarter to eventually capture the victory 63-50. The loss spoiled the senior night festivities for the Lancers. Chase Williams was the game's standout for the Flyers as he dropped 29 points while also snagging 11 rebounds. Mason Chapman and the Alexander Spartans cruised to a 68-32 victory over the River Valley Raiders last night. River Valley's defense was completely helpless as Chapman was on fire, knocking down a game-high 7 3-pointers. The Spartans will now travel to Jackson High School on Friday to take on the Minford Falcons with a possible district tournament berth on the line. Now let's head over to the Convocation Center where the OU Bobcats smacked Eastern Michigan last night 86-64. Tony Campbell led the way for the Cats, totaling a career-high 33 points while also grabbing 11 rebounds. 24 of Campbell's points would come in the first half, which allowed OU to grab an early 40-31 lead, and they would not look back. Campbell also got help from Jordan Dardis and Treg Setti, who dropped 18 and 16 points respectively. This marks Ohio's 4th straight win. The Bobcats will be back in action on Saturday as they take on the Miami Redhawks. Tip-off is scheduled for 2 p.m. Miami Week in Athens officially starts tonight, though. The Ohio women's team sits comfortably in first place in the MAC and are coming off convincing back-to-back wins over Northern Illinois and Toledo. Bobcats standout Kiana Black was named MAC Player of the Week for the 4th time this season after her dominant 38-point performance against Toledo early in the week. The MAC Showdown is set to start tonight at 7 p.m. The Mid-American Conference released their baseball preseason coaches poll this afternoon. The Kent State Golden Flashes grabbed the top spot in the East Division, pulling in 63 points, while the reigning MAC champion Bobcats followed close behind, grabbing in 55 points. In the West Division, Central Michigan leads the way, racking in 56 points. OU opens their season on Friday when they take on UNC Asheville on the road. And finally, just one interesting note for Cleveland Browns football fans. Today is Jim Brown's birthday and also Michael Jordan's birthday. So today was a big day for sports, in the sports world for birthdays. So I'm Matt Cuddy, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Kelsey.
All right, great work, Matt. Thanks a lot. A San Diego aquarium made an underwater selfie stick for one of their sea lions, and the little guy took it for a wild ride. I think we can all agree that the whole selfie stick thing for people is so yesterday, but for sea lions, it's the newest thing. I mean, what do they know? They're sea lions. They're probably still rocking fanny packs and tight rolling their jeans, too. All right, over to our final weather with Kaylee.
Thanks, Kelsey. Tonight we're going to have a low around 15 degrees, so you will want to bundle up, and clouds will be decreasing as the night goes on. Great day ahead of us for tomorrow, 39 for your high with mostly sunny skies. Should be a pleasant day. Here's a look at your 7-day. I think you'll like what you see. Friday, 58 for your high, just a slight chance of rain. Nice warm temperatures for your weekend. Back to you, Kelsey.
All right, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Kelsey Steele. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
What's happening, TVC basketball fans? My name is Sean Neidig, the host of Hardwood Heroes. Hardwood Heroes is a weekly half-hour show that airs on WOUB at 11 Sunday night and again at 6 on Monday. We provide you with the best Southeastern Ohio high school basketball coverage in the area, both on our show and on the web. Our reporters are at over 20 games every week to recap, so there is no way you can miss us. So tune in to Hardwood Heroes on Sunday night. And until then, I'm your host, Sean Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.